buy for 10 cents these days? Video games, and lots of them, at Dimes and Critters in the 5 Mile Shopping Center. That's right, just a dime buys you a turn on your favorite video game. And while you're here, try our piping hot pizza. That melted cheese and tasty sauce, And by the way, the entertainment by the Critter Band is free. So come to Dimes and Critters in the 5 Mile Shopping Center for a great value and a great time.
Welcome folks, this is CEC Robotics, and today we're going to be talking about quite a different topic, the Dimes and Critters restaurant chain, which was started in the early 1980s, and so were many more ripoffs of the famous brands Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza Place. So let's dive right in, shall we? Our story begins in Spokane, Washington. Although the run of the original restaurant was brief, the restaurant's history included multiple ownership changes. The concept for an arcade restaurant called Critter Maccoon's began in the early to late 1980s. It was supposed to follow the trend of arcade pizza animatronic restaurants like Showbiz Pizza Place and Chuck E. Cheese. A small engineering team was chosen to design the animatronic characters and make them, but their budget was limited, so they had to resort to some design choices that don't look so great. I know some of you might think I'm over-exaggerating here, but these things look ugly. I'm sorry, but they do. And the robots were built using a pneumatic system and had a very limited amount of movements. And you could say it was kinda inspired by the Country Bear Jamboree, especially the raccoon in the middle. He kinda reminds me of Zeke a little bit. The audio of the show was produced by Chris Lobdell at Walmack Recording Studios in Spokane, Washington. Critter Maccoon's opened on June 18th, 1982 in the 5 Mile Shopping Center in Spokane, Washington, as an upgrade to an already existing pizza business that was already there at the time. The place also had a small lounge area called a den, intended for adults. Meanwhile, the kids got a separate arcade and a showroom. Meanwhile, the animatronic stage was the main attraction for the restaurant. The animatronic show featured 4 animal characters, which being a raccoon named Critter Maccoon, who was the main character who played the banjo. Meanwhile, the other 3 characters was a bear who played the guitar, a pig who played the piano, and a skunk who didn't play any instruments. They played pre-recorded musical numbers, and the show was very simple, which the characters had very limited movements. As an addition to the arcade and animatronic show, the place also hosted movie nights. There is very little documentation about the original restaurant called Critter Maccoon's, but we do know some things about it. Only a small amount of advertisements and tokens still exist today, and one of the advertisements suggests multiple existing restaurants at the time. Critter Maccoon's had some operational competitive difficulties with the other restaurants, for example, Pizza Time Theater and Showbiz Pizza Place, who were just superior to Critter Maccoon's. And there was also a Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater, who was also a few minutes away. So, yeah, they didn't do so well. They weren't even making enough money to sustain operating, so they had to shut down. Around August 1983, the location was purchased by Dimes Pizza, which reopened the business under the combined name Dimes and Critters. The new owners of the business had basically everything from Critter Maccoon's, including all the animatronics, the arcade games, and of course the walk-around costume. And the main goal here was to revive interest in the business, but that obviously didn't go so well, seeing how the original run went. Basically, the only surviving footage from this place was the early 1980s television commercial from Dimes and Critters. The commercial shows the arcade, the raccoon walk-around costume, and, of course, the animatronic characters. The company began to have financial problems all the way into 1984. In January of that year, the restaurant was bought by a man named Dennis Arkin. He had to use his very own cash to keep the business running, which was absolutely wild. And he eventually started taking loans from other people. And as the business began to lose money, the owner, Arkin, began thinking of a new restaurant for adults. But eventually he found someone who was willing to buy him out, but it still would have left him in a lot of debt. And as the business was plummeting deeper and deeper, he began in a very odd decision. On December 1984, it happened.
Michael, don't leave me here. Michael, Michael!
Yeah, they lit the f***ing showroom on fire. As the fire began to spread fast, it destroyed the stage and the entire building. The fire was set as an attempt to collect insurance money. Very scummy. And as firefighters arrived at the building at around 8:20 p.m., they knew something was off. I mean, who just lights an animatronic pizza place on fire? And it took almost 2 hours to put the fire out. The fire resulted in the permanent closure of the business. The fire investigators knew something was off, so yeah, they identified signs that the fire had been set by the owners. They both were charged with arson. Following the incident, the property was plowed over, everything was gone from the original Critters Maccoons, and nothing remains of it today besides a few tokens and newspaper articles and this commercial that you're seeing on the screen now. The history of Critter Maccoons and Dimes and Critters is very lowly documented, and we'll probably get more information on it in the future, but what we have right now is very interesting and will live on in people's memories from the 80s. Thank you all so much for watching. This is CEC Robotics, out.
King back. We want King back. Say it with me now. I want King back. We want King back. Oh, I want King back.